Since you started speaking out about this, have you had any threats or do you worry?
No, I've had no threats. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've had a lot go on in my life. You know, I've had a contract put out on me. so for, you know, threats from the royal household or legal threats mean nothing to me. You know what I mean? I'm personally one of these people where I'm just standing by what I said all those years ago. I'm not adding to it and I'm not taking away from it. But I'd rather do it in an environment where I can control it in terms of explain what I saw, what I heard, and you know, what's gone on in my eyes, than to have the media do it and to change it and you know what it's like with the press and that, they'll change bits of it and it gets distorted.
It's interesting what you said about having to not put certain names down who came to visit Andrew, because that is a little bit like when Andrew Loney, the publisher and writer, who wrote about Mountbatten, when Andrew came on here, he was saying like freedom of information requests can't get them about what Andrew's doing with his trade envoys. How can that be right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've spoke to Andrew a number of times, and I've got a lot of respect for him because he's out there, he's pushing it. You know, he's up against the establishment. It's a lonely old world. Yeah, you know, and he's finding it out. You know, that the power that, you know, the establishment, especially the royals, have got is phenomenal. Yeah. You know, and so...
Were you ever privy to a conversation? I mean, who's doing this in the police, say, or in government, and is just going, let's hide this bit of information about Andrew's trade envoys and what he was doing there?
Well, look, it would go down to, right, so as I said to you before, his personal protection officer would be with him for a certain period of time. You know, I was saying about when he went to Epstein Island, well, the officer wouldn't be following him around in his bedroom and he's going to the parties. It'd be in his own room. It'd be in the lodge and he'd be on the end of the phone. Because don't forget, when he was on Epstein Island, that was a secure environment. Yeah. So there is no need for his protection officer to follow him all the way around everywhere because Andrew was tempted to piss off. Yeah. So he wouldn't really be privy to any naughtiness as such, if you see what I mean. Yeah. And it's the same with discussions and stuff like that. The protection officer, people are sort of over egging their part in terms of they must have known. Do you know what I mean?
But somebody, according to Andrew Loney, seems to be destroying information about what he's been up to.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got the senior household. That's a machine. The senior household machine. So if you cross that machine, then you're in trouble. And the example being, now I'm no fan, and I'm not for or against Harry and Meghan, but how I saw, and I get people still give me a bit of jip about it, but look, I'm just being honest, and what I think, like she came into an archaic system, and she's a modern woman. She'd been divorced, she'd had a life, she wasn't brought in like Princess Diana, which I'll come on to when you ask me about heretics, but she was just she'd been and seen it, been there, seen it, done it. So she's come into an environment where they've said, you will do this, you will do that, you won't go here, you won't go there. This is your life now. And she's gone, no, that's not what do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whether that's come across the way it's happened as ungrateful, and they mention racism and all the rest of it, it could be all kinds of, in terms of from the royal household and all the rest of it, potentially there could be a racism in there because it's an old environment, it's an archaic environment. But on the other side of the coin, the way they would probably look at it is your loyalty is to the royal family now, so you will do as you are told. And no, she wouldn't. And then it all went off.
She's getting a lot of benefits from them, isn't she? That's the thing. I
mean, look, Harry's, you know, he's done the book. He's a very angry man. He's he lost his mum at an early age, and it's a cold environment for youngsters back then in the royal household. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of them looked after by nannies and stuff like that. There wasn't really, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so he's got issues. He's an angry man, and he's vented his anger in public and in book form and word form and documentary form, whatever you want to call it. And he's made a lot of money from that. And that's why I think where people, the opinion's divided, because if you want to write a book and talk about your experiences, that's fine. But you're also, is it because you want to get it out there, you want to talk about it, or is it because you want to make money?
Could have given it all to charity, couldn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of money from his mum's inheritance anyway, you know? So where are you going with this? And you know, they want to be part of the royal family, but they don't. Well,
that's the issue. Like if Meghan wanted to marry and then go, look, because I love Harry and that's it, and now we're leaving and we're going to do our own thing. Yeah. But to continue using the Sussex title.
Yeah, listen, if you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She uses it for her businesses.
Yeah.
Can make more money off the back of them.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, look, the bottom line is the royal family is set in a certain way, and they're not going to change anytime soon. Although King Charles is now taken over, he's a bit sort of more forward thinking, I suppose. I'm not a fan, don't get me wrong. I'm not a royalist, I'm not an anti-royalist, I'm just a realist.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But the way I see things, yes, slim down the family to a certain degree to save money.
Yeah.
And so, again, with him, he's not perfect. I mean, you know, look, Camilla, he married Camilla, but he was always in love with Camilla. Everyone knew that, you know, and then poor Princess Diana, she got the shit end of the stick.